Hello everyone, Kryptonite here and welcome back to Hydroneer. So I have spent absolutely hours in creative mode just playing around and building a massive factory. So here it is, and you can probably also notice that my frames are pretty low. And that's because there's quite a lot going on in this factory. So let's go and explore and I will talk you all through it. Okay, so my whole idea for this build is with the new quests needing certain amounts of bars. I thought I would try and come up with some sort of system where with the gems and the bars I could have individual weights that have been distributed using the new logic saw hook. So if we just grab over this one over here, you'll see this one should equal nice 200 and this one here should be 300, and then we have 4 and 500. Now the first one was supposed to be 100, but as you can see it was 136, which isn't quite right. So this is now my extra scrap pile, and then the one right at the end, this one will be 500. This one at the end is 400, just here is 100 just there, as you can see. So that was basically the whole idea in this build, is to try and get the logic saw hooks to work. So I had a weight increase of 100 per bar just to suit me for any sort of tasks that I need or any builds that I want to do. And plus I just wanted to see how far I could actually push the logic system in Hydroneer. So if we just jump up here, you will see this looks rather complicated. I will showcase underneath, which is where all the mining starts, a bit later on, but I'll just run through all of this with you at the moment. So the smelting process happens underneath, which I will showcase, and then it will come through this sorting system, and then it will come through here to the logic saw hooks. Now my auto smelters underground, I did set them at a weight of 1500 to then eject a bar. Obviously with timing of shutting off the pipe work and all of that lot, on average my bars were just coming up to the sorting system at about 1600, just over. So this is how I figured out sorting this out like this. So the first logic saw hook will cut a bar to 1500, so take that away from the 16 and it will inject a bar coming out this way of just over 100, because they were averaging about 1630, something like that, which is why the bar I showed you down there was 138. And then the remaining 1500 will come down here. So this one will cut it at 1300, will inject a bar of 200 exact weight, and the remainder will go through here. Then it will cut it to 1000 weight, which the difference between them would be 300, so that cuts down here, and then the remainder 1000 will come out this side, go through this one, which is cutting at 600, which the difference is 4, so your 400 bar will go through there, and the remaining 600 through here, and this will cut the bar into 100, so the 500, which is the difference, will go through this one, and then the remainder will give us our exact 100. So overall, and I've done this setup for the gold, the calcium and the core stone. Obviously the calcium and the core stone are a bit rarer, so they do take a bit longer to produce. My shard bars, which just at the end here, I've just cut them at 1500 because you want them fairly big for boosting your system anyway. So that's how I basically did the system for the bars. I've also done a similar system over here for the gems. I've got my gem compressors set here. Obviously with the new style gem compressor, there's no way to eject them automatically, so you do have to eject them manually. So what I've done is I've got a set of scales here, and I can just quickly read the weight. Now when the weight reaches 1500, what I can do, chuck it on this conveyor belt here, and it will sort through and inject the same way as it will over there. So let's head on underneath and you will see how big the factory is underneath as well, which will explain why my frames are so low, because there is a lot going on up here and also underneath as well. So here we are to the mining process underneath, which you may have seen a little snippet in one of my previous videos. But here it is, all done and dusted and finished. So we've got our 10 tier 3 drills over here, and then from there it goes up this system into the harvesters. Now from the harvesters it goes into a sorting system. As you can see, there's quite a lot of resources being spewed out down here. And then we've got our first lot of auto smelters. Now I did have the core stone down here as my first one, which the reader was reading, but it did cause some issues because of how long the core stone took to actually build up to the certain weight. So I've got the weight set at 500, and I found that this was the optimum weight for the iron to make it a lot easier for my next system, which I'll showcase now. So as you can see, that there's a conveyor belt at the top, which is the gems, because once the bars are ejected from the smelters, they come along this conveyor belt here, which is done by a sorter, and then the gems will just carry on down here. Now I did have a little bit of an overspill with the smelters, as you can see here, every now and then, so eventually they will be pushed onto the conveyor belt, but so they didn't get mixed up to the top, I put another sorter here and it will just loop back around the system. So if we follow this system over here, we have our other set of auto smelters, which, yes, I know I've probably well and truly overcomplicated things, but I just wanted to see how far I could literally push everything. So each one of these I have set to 1500. The reason why I chose the number 1500 in weight is because up the top, when I was trying to figure out what the best weights to have the bars are, sort of 500 will probably be the maximum bar weight that you would need, and I worked out that starting with 1500 I would need 5 logic saw hooks for each resource, so it was just sort of, I thought, was a nice round number. So each one of these logic auto smelters, as I said, I've got them to eject at 1500. Now, as I said, by the time that all the machines turn off and the extra resources that go over, they do come out at about 1600, so not exactly 15, which is why I did the adjustment up at the top. So we've got our iron, gold and calcium down here, and then at the back there we have our core stone and our shards. And if you do want to know how to set up these auto smelters, I have got a video. I will leave that on the end screen for you, and I'll also leave the link in the description. I thought I'd leave it uncovered down here for you guys just so you can see it. It does look a bit different to the video that I have explained the auto smelter system, but that's because I did it all along the floor so I could cover it with flooring when I decide to. So from here, the gems go up to this conveyor belt, and then the bars go that conveyor belt. So let's head back up to the top and you can see it all in action. So here we are back up the top, and let's turn it all on so you can see it all in action. So there we go, I have a little lever to turn it all on. I've got individual levers for the gems and also the resource bars as well, just so I can individually turn them off if I want to. So I can see the gems are flowing quite nicely, more than the rest of them. Then we just need to wait for a few iron or gold bars to come up and I can showcase this lot working in action. While we are waiting for the bars to come up, I do want to just say that in a normal game mode or normal build, I would probably say that this is obviously going a bit too extreme, and it does affect the frame rate quite a lot, especially with all of these conveyor belts and everything else going on. So practicality wise, doing this on a normal playthrough, I'd probably advise not to do that. I just wanted to see how far I can push all the logic system to its max. So we can see we've got an iron bar and a gold bar coming through here, and as you can see, the saw hooks working as they should. And then there we go, we have a nice set of bars and gold bars as well as the iron. So there we go everyone, that's just a quick little showcase of one of my more extensive builds. If there's any other builds you want me to see and do in a creative mode, I'll be sure to do that for you, just to see how far you can push things. Now, since the update, I haven't actually done a restarted playthrough, which I am aiming to do. I've just been playing around with this quite a lot just to see how far I can push things. If you are interested in seeing me doing a completely new playthrough since the update, then stay tuned. Make sure you like this video and subscribe, because I will have one of them videos coming out. It's in Kryptonite here. Hopefully you enjoyed me showcasing my big build. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next video.